everybody, it is I, Miss Molly, and it's not as sunny a day as usual, but I am here out on one of the islands with Roxy back here, and I see her right there, and Fred's looking for coconuts, and one of my colleagues on here asked a good question. She said, when did you have your spiritual journey begin? I really kind of have to feel like our spiritual journey begins the moment we're born, even maybe before that. You know, we don't know where we're going when we're born, and as time goes on and marches on, we start to see the path little by little. Sometimes we see way ahead, and sometimes we can barely see right in front of us, right? But I always say that I believe everybody has ability. So that's why I don't always call it a gift, so to speak, because yes, it's a gift, but I think we all have this gift, some more than others. So my story begins, I was 3 years old, and my grandmother in Ohio had an indoor pool. Her pool was in her house, and we loved going over there to swim. And so one morning we were over there and we were about to have lunch, and I said I'd like to go in the pool, and I was told no, not until after lunch. And so we finished lunch, and I marched right into the room and walked myself right into the water, not realizing that the other times I'd been in the pool, I'd been wearing some type of a flotation device. So this was like 1973, so you know, either an arm wing, like those inflatable wings, or a bubble, like an styrofoam bubble on my back. I had nothing on like that, just my bathing suit, and my parents and family were, I don't know what they were doing, but they didn't see me go in. So it probably was all of a minute or two of the moment that this all happened, and my sister had time enough to go tattle on me, luckily. So my dad saved my life. Let's just start there. Obviously, I'm still here. I didn't drown. However, I did have an out-of-body experience, and I do recall what happened. So I get in the pool and I start to sink, and I immediately get that oh no moment, and I'm realizing that something's wrong. As I sink down into the water, and I'm still in the shallow end at this point, I suddenly felt the urge to hold my breath, and I had not learned to blow bubbles or anything underwater yet, so I didn't really know why I was holding my breath. And as I, kind of stopped trying to breathe, this bubble formed around me, like this empty, waterless bubble. And I knew instinctually to breathe in, so I took this big breath, filled my lungs up, and right after I did that, all the water came pouring in, and I started to drown. And I do remember water going up my nose, and that weird sensation, and trying to yell, and kind of seeing the water above me bubbling while I'm trying to yell underwater. Next thing I know, I'm walking down towards the deep end. There's a slope in the pool. I don't know why, but I'm walking like I'm walking on a normal surface, not underwater. And as I'm walking, this hallway appears, this big, long, white hallway with doors all on both sides of the hallway, and it had that real perspective, like it looked endless to me. But halfway down the hallway, I see this big woman standing there with her arms out. So I go toddling towards her. Remember, I'm only 3. I felt like I knew her. She seemed to know me. She beckoned that I come over to her. She put her arms around me, and the feelings that I felt were nothing short of elation. I don't know how else to describe it. Love. I felt every emotion there ever was in the universe, probably all at once. And then she says to me, you got to go back now, Molly. And I said, what? And she says, no, little Molly, time to go back. She kind of shoos me forward. And, who was I to argue with an older person who obviously loved me, and I was a little kid? So I start walking back down the hallway, and maybe 4 steps into it, all the water comes rushing back in, and then next thing I know, I'm up on the ceiling of the room where the pool is. Now remember, this pool was indoors, and my grandpa had built this giant atrium around the pool, so the ceilings went probably, I don't know, like 20 feet up into the air. And so I'm up at the ceiling looking down, watching myself being pulled out of the water by my dad, fully clothed, which I went, oh, that's weird, Dad's wearing all his clothes. And me crying and watching everybody, kind of gather around me while I'm choking and spitting up water. And that's the experience I had. And so the funny part is, I don't think I was crying because I was scared or sad, even though I'm sure that's how it appeared. But I was crying because I already knew that experience would be very difficult for me to articulate and share. And it was so amazing. Imagine having this amazing experience and knowing that you don't have the ability to share it with people. So that's the first part of the story.